You remember when games actually had an identity? Like, I'm talking like pre 2010s, right? Because this is probably the biggest issue that I think that is in games, and it's an issue that you can't really articulate, but you just feel is the issue. Like, like you can look at any, say, poster online or like background on a computer that some fucking nerd at school has, and some of them you immediately would know as like, I don't know, World of Warcraft, right? Or like 2016 was Overwatch. Like you knew it was either Halo or God of War or Team Fortress, just depending on just the look of the wallpaper and just the art style and the identity of the game. And I feel like this is the biggest thing that has been lost in gaming. It's like, what even is God of War anymore? So, all I'm saying this is okay, they're making a new God of War game. And I do believe they're making this based off of, market. Or not really market, I like the sales people idea. Because companies no longer make games anymore, or at least AAA companies don't. Like, they make content. So they take the big names, right? They deliberately make changes that they know the consumer's not going to like to put eyes on the game. But then they have a female character, and people then it's like, oh, if you don't like it, you must be a sexist to attract that crowd of people. They have big developers, big studios, big voice actors. It's like this doesn't really have an identity because it's doing everything in its power just not to be what God of War is. Like, to begin with, this looks like a 40-year-old lady. Like, what do you think is the demographic of people who play God of War? Do you think 40-year-old ladies play a game that's a hack and slash where you beat the fuck out of enemies in a brutal way, and at least in the older games, you fuck bitches? You just fucking straight up sex them. Do you think 40-year-old women are playing that? And if not, what the fuck makes you think I'ma enjoy playing this character? And it's not the fact that she doesn't look hot or I want her to be half naked because my guy mods exist. It's like they're actively making a decision to make the game not the way I want it to be. So I looked at the trailer, and I'm not going to show it here because PlayStation acts kind of goofy. Apparently, they hint to the other pantheons because this is another thing that people wanted. They wanted God of War to move on to another pantheon either with Kratos or with his son Atreus. Because, I mean, you built up these characters, like you built up Atreus through the two. Like, finishing the trilogy at least with him, I guess, wouldn't be a bad thing, right? But, I mean, some people have a problem with it, but it's a good direction, and people want it to be in the Egyptian pantheon, but apparently with her, there's like this realm, specific realm that the gods go to when they die, which is cool. Is a cool concept, and I think they have like this is the Mongolian god, and then they have the Egyptian fucking god down here. Again, things that seem interesting, but then they have this fucking cube that and this is a trope games are doing nowadays, that voice in your ear that tells you what the fuck to do instead of letting you play the fucking game yourself because you're a gamer, you played the previous God of Wars. But this game wants to make absolutely sure that you can't make one fucking step without that voice in your head being like, oh, hey, guess what? You need to do this. Oh, hey, guess what? You need to do this. Oh, I'm going to make some quippy, witty dialogue that no one fucking asked for. It's cringe millennial game creation that everyone knows is annoying, but these companies are being told, yeah, put that in the game. Put it in the game because it's absolutely not what the consumer wants, and we know it's going to piss the consumer off, but that's what we want, right? Again, we're not making games, we're making content. We need to do our utmost to not make the game for the player, and people act surprised why people move to like anime, or people are actively supporting games like Stellar Blade, or supporting AI just to spite you. Like, there's no other industry on the planet that spites its consumer more than the games industry and just entertainment as a whole, because of the people that are heads of these entertainment. Well, not really the heads. They make the product. Like, the heads probably don't fucking care one way or the other. It's the 1,000 executive producers. It's the consultants. It's HR. People that absolutely have an ideology, and we don't need to pretend this isn't the case. And even if it's not the case, if you make these decisions that God of War Lafray is going to make, I will assume that that's the intent, and I will not support it until you prove to me otherwise. Like, her character, well, in particular, character, quote unquote, was amazing in Ragnarok and in the other four, because even if she was dead and you never played her or know who she was or seen her face up until Ragnarok, she still played like she was still a driving force in the plot. Like, I cannot name like a better way to show the strength of a character than them not even being there, but still having an impact that you just don't know. And make no mistake, she has a great impact on Kratos as a character. A lot of people don't really like the whole change they did with Kratos, but I feel like, going dad's role, well, it was just an okay evolution. And again, the gameplay was still good, even though it was little slower. But I guess they're throwing that away because you need woman with sword in a third-person game with realistic graphics, 40-year-old lady. I mean, again, she even looks different in the new game. Like, do I feel like they've changed her character? The look of her character between these two things? Is it just me? Like, they put in time, money, and effort to butcher her look. Oh, I guess that's what realism does. It's like every single pore on their face needs to be revealed because they're not fictional characters anymore. They're like Instagram models, and you need to see every pore and every shadow on there. It's like, no, she's entertainment. Like, She is supposed to be objectified because she is an object. She doesn't exist. But people don't understand that, so they have to make this. And again, even me talking about it is what they want. Like, you gotta understand the metrics like IGN and these companies go by, because they don't hire people who, like, literally they're into, like, they have it down to a science to manipulate you, the consumer. They hire, like, the gender studies degree friend that they had in college. And it's like, do they have any expertise in marketing and sales? No. But they have a phone and they can type in the God of War and see how many people are talking about it. Even if it's not the right publicity, I mean, it's like, again, we're not talking about anyone who has marketing to a science, because the people who did, the salespeople and the people that did have marketing, they're, moved up to manager and admin positions, you know, and again, what you have are people who are absolutely not qualified in these positions being hired in. And the end result of that is this game. Like, make no mistake, what they have here, and I'm shitting on the game. I'm absolutely judging the cover because it's the trope that everyone's sick and fucking tired of. And again, until they prove otherwise, I'm going to assume it is. And, it didn't have to be this way, but make no mistake, the industry has put time, money, and effort towards spiting its consumers. And yeah, there's going to be people who are unreasonable, right? Like, we're talking entertainment. Oh, yeah, what was? This was what Domino's UK said. It's like, God of War game with no Kratos equals pepperoni passion with no pepperoni. Oh, thanks for the feedback, Domino's Pizza corporate account. Kratos is the God of War. We have many more stories to tell with him. For now, we're excited to take fans on a journey into the afterlife of the gods with Faye, and I hope you'll come along. Whatever. I don't know who's on this account, but they're absolutely spitting facts. I mean, they could have just not called it God of War, but again, everything, like, every single aspect of this is to just get eyes on it. They use the God of War moniker, and even though you're not really playing Kratos, like, they could have just straight out said, yeah, this is just a tiny project, not make it 70 fucking dollars. Hell, they could have even have made it DLC. I feel like there would be better reception, but again, you understand the point. The point is to piss people off. The point is to get that publicity, because every single company is doing this. And by the metrics of how many people are talking about it, is how they, glean popularity or hype. So, and again, I've always just told you, oh yeah, is this the guy playing the cube? Literally just like fucking PCP pipes. Is this Paul the pipe cube? Yep. So yeah, again, they'll have to prove otherwise, but I'm going to assume this just exists to not be God of War. And yeah, will it sell? Probably. Like, people will probably buy it off just out of curiosity. Will it make its money back? No. I doubt it. I mean, I think my friend said it cost $450 million to make this game. You know, a game where a lot of the assets just are there. You know, it doesn't have to be that big of a game. It could have been DLC. They could have been like, oh yeah, it's just a side thing. They don't really have to put a lot into it. They could have made her look like the way she looked, you know, in this game. She looks like a lot younger in this game than they put in time, money, and effort to make her look older and uglier. So, yeah. I mean, I guess is also the thing that's lost with realism. You now have this costing more than this. Like, she looks fine here. Maybe it's a bad angle. But again, they're not Instagram models. They're fictional characters that exist for my enjoyment. They should always be in the right angle. It is so easy to always have them in the right angle. See, I'm making this distinction between fictional and real women. The problem is the people who call me the chud can't make that description. That distinction. That or they're being just deliberately dishonest. But that's all I gotta say about this. I'm not really gonna play this. But that's all I gotta say. Peace out.